Jacqueline Avant, the wife of Grammy Award-winning music executive Clarence Avant, was fatally shot early Wednesday in her Los Angeles area home. Beverly Hills police officers responded to a home just before 2:30 a.m. where they found one person shot. Avant was taken to a hospital and died. It was unclear why the home was targeted, Police Chief Mark Stainbrook told reporters on his first full day as head of the department. The Avant family's contributions to the world of entertainment and to better communities across Los Angeles are unmatched, Stainbrook said. There are no words to express our profound sorrow for this immense loss. A Netflix spokeswoman earlier confirmed to Fox News that the victim was 81-year-old Jacqueline Avant before authorities identified her. Avant's daughter, Nicole, is married to Ted Sarandos, Netflix co-CEO and chief content officer. Jacqueline was an amazing woman, wife, mother, philanthropist, and a 55-year resident of Beverly Hills who has made an immeasurable positive contribution and impact on the arts community, a statement from the Avant and Sarandos families said. She will be missed by her family, friends, and all of the people she has helped throughout her amazing life. Stainbrook declined to release details of the shooting as the investigation is still in its infancy, he said. He said detectives will look at all possible motives but would not speculate if Avant was killed during a robbery or how many suspects were involved. The Los Angeles area has seen a wave of robberies by thieves associated with street gangs who confront victims after following them home from prime locations. Several celebrities have been targeted in recent weeks, including Terrence J. and Real Housewife Dorit Kemsley. I don't think it's a random attack, but I can't speculate on that right now, the chief said. Avant was a local philanthropist and president of the Neighbors of Watts support group. She also served on the board of directors of the International Student Center at the University of California, Los Angeles. Her 90-year-old husband is known as the godfather of black music and was recently inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Former President Barack Obama and Vice President Kamala Harris were among those who paid tribute to him in a video made for the induction ceremony in October. He mentored a number of artists, including Bill Withers, Little Willie John, L.A. Reid, Babyface, Jimmy Jam, and Terry Lewis. In 2019, Netflix released The Black Godfather, a documentary about his career. News of Avant's death triggered a slew of tributes from celebrities and political figures, including former President Bill Clinton. Jackie Avant was a wonderful woman, a great partner to Clarence and mother to Alex and Nicole. An active citizen and a dear friend to Hillary and me for 30 years, he wrote on Twitter. She inspired admiration, respect and affection in everyone who knew her. We are heartbroken. She will be deeply missed. Daniel Bakewell, a lifelong friend of the Avant family and publisher of the Los Angeles Sentinel, a black-owned weekly newspaper, conveyed his condolences in a statement released through the publication. I cannot express how overwhelmingly pained I am at the loss of such a beautiful person as Jackie Avant. For her to be killed in such a senseless way is unfathomable, he said. There are 2 more kind and generous people than Clarence and Jackie, and for their home and their lives to be violated in such a violent manner is unconscionable. NBA legend and former Los Angeles Lakers star Earvin Magic Johnson called Jacqueline Avant the sweetest person you could ever meet. She had a beautiful soul, kind heart, and always had a kind word for everybody. She was quiet, yet powerful, and very smart. We are crying for Clarence, Nicole, and Alex's loss. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the entire family, he wrote on Twitter. U.S. Representative Karen Bass, D. California, said she was heartbroken by the tragic news. Mrs. Avant was a force of compassion and empowerment locally and nationally for decades, as well as a model of service and giving back to those who needed it most, she tweeted. The devastating events of last night along with recent reports of brazen crime in Los Angeles rupture the expectation of safety we have for our friends, families, and fellow Angelenos. All of us have a right to be safe, and last night was an absolute violation of that right, she added. Case update. A parolee with a long criminal history has been arrested in the killing of Jacqueline Avant, a local philanthropist and wife of legendary music executive Clarence Avant, in the couple's Beverly Hills, California, home during a burglary, authorities said Thursday. The suspect was identified by the Beverly Hills Police Department as 29-year-old Ariel Maynor of Los Angeles. This is one of the most protected and patrolled cities in the world, Beverly Hills Police Chief Mark Stainbrook told reporters. Crime will not be tolerated here. Shortly after the early Wednesday slaying, Maynor was found at a separate burglary in Los Angeles with a gunshot wound to the foot, Stainbrook said. The wound was apparently accidentally self-inflicted. Avant, 81, was found shot in the home just before 2:30 a.m. inside her estate. She later died at a hospital. A security guard was present at the home at the time of the shooting, police said. Surveillance and city cameras captured Maynor traveling east from Beverly Hills after shooting Avant, the chief said. Investigators believe he acted alone. Officials did not say how many shots were fired. In a statement, the Avant and Sarandos families thanked authorities for the quick arrest. Our deepest gratitude to the city of Beverly Hills, the BHPD, and all law enforcement for their diligence on this matter, the statement said. Now, let justice be served. Avant's daughter, Nicole, is married to Ted Sarandos, Netflix co-CEO and chief content officer, and served as a U.S. ambassador to the Bahamas during the Obama administration. About an hour after Avant was shot, Los Angeles police officers in the department's Hollywood division responded to a shooting and found Maynor in a backyard with a gunshot wound to the foot. He was arrested and taken to a hospital. Beverly Hills investigators collected evidence, including an AR-15 rifle, that connected him to the fatal shooting of Avant. They were alerted to the second burglary by the Los Angeles Police Department. Somewhere in the night we had an astute watch commander at Hollywood division that started to put two and two together and reached out to Beverly Hills, and we started communicating, and there were some similarities, LAPD Deputy Chief Blake Chow said. Beverly Hills detectives have taken over both burglary investigations. Authorities are still trying to determine a motive for the slaying. Stainbrook declined to state whether the attack was random. Our focus now has transitioned from finding a suspect to a continuing investigation that will lead to a successful prosecution, he said. At this time, we're only looking at him as a suspect. But again, there's a lot of evidence to go through, so we're leaving open the possibility there could be other people involved. Maynor was on parole at the time of the shooting, but authorities declined to say for what offense, only noting that he has a long criminal history. He will be booked into the Los Angeles County Jail once he is medically cleared by doctors. Clarence Avant, 90, was recently inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and was known as the Godfather of black music. The death of his wife came amid a wave of robberies and home invasions in Los Angeles. Rest in peace to Mrs. Jacqueline Avant.